Well, dull surprise, there's gonna be a Call of Duty this year apparently. And everyone is excited because it has new graphics. Just... I thought this game was fun once. Hello Internet, I hope you're having an awesome day. My name is Jared Media, also known as Heavy Rain, and I welcome you to this safe space where we analyze stuff and we talk about this, well, basically video games and other things that I like to talk about and analyze. So, we finally have like a new image of the new Call of Duty. Oh, graphics, amazing! Yeah, they updated. Oh, you can actually see the skin on that. And you know what? Call of Duty before was... well, it was a AAA game in a sense. Like, sure, people are calling it like AAA at this time, but I think that the whole stamp of approval is no longer that interesting. Just like when you find like those topics on the internet that they say like outstanding, crazy things to do on bed or something like that, and they're just a bunch of lies and all that. So I remember the time where Call of Duty like actually meant the Call of Duty, like the sense of the term actually made a sense. Why these soldiers or the character you were playing volunteered to actually go to this war to protect freedom, the people that were like affected by this, even if it was directly or not. The World War II is one of the most memorable, in my opinion, moments in history, and even I think historians will say, about Earth. What's the planet Earth? Because it showed the best and the worst things that anyone can do. And it was, and many can argue that it was because of the will of one single man, but you can basically say that, yeah, the one man basically put the world upside down. People got massacred, there was genocide, and show up the worst horrors that could happen in a war scenario in the world. World War I was actually really bad on that time too, and any kind of war is basically bad. But World War II will always be in the minds of people, especially of historians, about one of the highlights of planet Earth, sadly. So it'll be like one of the highlights. And what it's Call of Duty basically. On that, you will be talking about, you might be thinking about why I'm talking about history and all that. So because Call of Duty before that, before all this kind of perks, multiplayer and graphics, tried to match something on that time. Call of Duty had that kind of tangential learning of trying to just not having fun, but trying to learn a little bit more of this kind of historic event, in a sense. If I ever play the Call of Duty games, I normally try to investigate. I don't know, maybe it's just me or not, but at least every time I learn something, or it's just a tangential learning, it makes me think about why this happened. Is this possible? And all that. So during that time, games were making always World War II games, and it's agreeable, like Medal of Honor and many other games tried it best, and Call of Duty, it's one of the biggest highlights on that. So people were playing that game not just only for the single play, for the multiplayer, but just because always the single player. The single player campaigns were amazing. They were a great thing for doing the storytelling, to show a little bit more about the events of this war and all. And now, today, when we see like maybe the Modern Warfare series and the new games like Black Ops and all that, there's like that sense of, I want to say, respect for the horrors or the atrociousness that happen in war. It's no longer there. It's always like just like, oh, let's invade and war and kill everyone else. Like, there's no... the primitive human nature of killing other, it will always be there, but it's just now so trivialized that the single term of Call of Duty, it's no longer valid. Like, the Call of Duty that is go beyond what you have to do or anything, like in a nutshell, no longer applies to this game. There's always now, every year we have a Call of Duty. They try to actually do like a good script for the whole thing, and it falls down because they're not exploring from beyond, just like we got invaded and all that in a Michael Bay way, and that's good to be compared with Michael Bay at this time. In a Michael Bay way, that there's a war and all that. They're no longer giving us that capability to think that why I'm volunteering for this, why should I answer that call of duty, why should I answer the call of duty to go sacrifice myself for anyone else, because yeah, maybe it could be called freedom and all that. But let me remind you about the World War II, that World War II, what happened. Yeah, maybe we can say that maybe the United States joined the Allies at that time, because we were attacked by the attacks on Pearl Harbor. But I think there's like a big background before that, so it was just the tip of the iceberg basically on that. But during that time, if you go to during that time of World War II, you volunteered to actually try to save something, like not just because of freedom, but listening to all these kinds of events that are really happening. And we're talking about an era that there's no Twitter, no internet, that you will only believe if you see it. And people on that time saw horrible stuff, the camps and all that, and everything that happened to the Jews, to the Jew population. It was a couple of horrible. That's for your history lessons. Nowadays, in the modern history, in the modern warfare, Call of Duty and all, it's just like, oh, they're just invading us and killing us, let's call each other, blah 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 blah, and that's about it, victory. There's no that kind of I don't want to say romanticize of war, but they're no longer showing, they're only showing the glory of the battle. Like the warfare has come with all its glories, but never showing its horrors. That's what I want to say. Like, they no longer show us like what will really happen on that event. Like, never put us in the perspective of not just a soldier, but maybe a civilian, an officer. And maybe you'll be saying like, it's Call of Duty is always about military, but like I'm saying, if you see the Call of Duty series in the beginning, even Call of Duty 2, you were able to go between different kinds of soldiers. You were able to go with other, like the Russian, British, and American soldiers. Why not no longer explore like the two faces of the same coin? Like, not just the allies, but the enemy. Why not seeing from the perspective of the enemy? Because not the whole German population was evil or was a Nazi. There were people that actually, even in the Nazi party, that tried to do their best to stop the badness that was happening there. There's no longer in the modern series of Call of Duty trying to show up like the real horrors of war, showing like what will happen to this character in this situation, because war now has been trivialized. See, people are saying like, oh, let's go to World War III, invade everyone else, blah blah blah, oil and all that, and get all this pretext, and not think of the bigger picture of what will happen. We can go into destroying the whole humanity with different types of chemical weapons, biological weapons, nuclear weapons, and there's tons of other different types of ways that we can end up horribly the life on this place. But going a little bit more back about here, there's no depth. I think Modern Warfare 2 has like the best, I want to say script, like eraser script of all the games, because they actually try to show a little bit more of what will happen in World War III. A little bit more of that. The music and the whole setting and all was better, but we never see like trying to save the civilians, trying to, from the perspective of other people, seeing like what it is like, feeling that somebody is jumping around there's tons of planes around invading, you have to run from your work, that everything is destroyed like it was some kind of natural disaster. Never happens like that. There's no, again, I'm gonna sound horrible, they never romanticize on the horrors of war and that, and that's what it kills me with Call of Duty, because, and most shooters right now, because they're not trying their best on that. We only see like games like The Last of Us or even Mass Effect do have this kind of sense that something's happening in the world, and you can actually get a little bit hooked to that. So why the games at that time don't work in that? I don't know. Maybe I'm blaming it too much on the developers, but maybe it's the gamers on that time, the gamers that only play the Call of Duty gamers that play just that game for the multiplayer. And there's nothing wrong with multiplayer and all. That's totally fine with me. But Call of Duty meant something. It had that kind of a little bit of depth, that tangential learning, where you can try to know a little bit more about war, about real situations, and what could happen. So I kind of miss that on Call of Duty, and maybe they'll never leave from that. And there's no, like I'm saying, there's no duty now to answer the call. It's not it. It's gone, I think. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that I'm thinking much about this? Do you think that Call of Duty will ever become like a whole depth game, even in the single player and multiplayer campaign? Will they ever be a serious AAA title? So just let me know. And yeah, I think that'll be it. So comment, discuss, be the response. We'll be talking about it next time. I'm Jordan Magia, also known as Hyperbrain. See you guys next time.